is a former Fresno State quarterback and a guy that we're about to learn a lot about tonight. Three-time national champion, now the head coach at Ole Miss, ladies and gentlemen, Lane Kiffin.
Yeah, Lane!
How are you, Coach?
Awesome. Thanks for having me, Pat.
Hey, sorry we made you wait there a little bit. Boys had to dump during the break, and then obviously we got a chance to run one of the greatest trailers I've seen for a documentary in a long time, which leads me to ask this. How was it emotional going back through all of it? And how long have you guys been shooting this for release? It feels like it's very in-depth.
Yeah, they did it this summer with me, just, over a day or two, and then I think they went to other people after that. So I've actually not seen it. So that trailer is the only thing I've seen like you've seen. So it is kind of really unique to see that, and you see your kind of life play out because you've been through so many things, and so should be interesting.
Reliving it all is interesting. I've talked to a couple people that should have documentaries. And I ask them, I'm like, are you ever going to do a doc? Absolutely not. Why? I've already lived it once. I don't want to do it again. That's a whole thing that has to take place. I'm assuming with some of these things, and you admitted it there in your interview that you did this summer that they did in the sit-down, where it's like, I've made some mistakes, self-inflicted wounds through it all. Has that perspective changed you this season? Do you think you've noticed a change since doing the documentary about yourself? And how has it been trying to become the Lane Kiffin that you want to be, basically, through it all, that you kind of mentioned at the end there about changing the narrative?
Yeah, I really didn't know it was going to be that big a deal, Pat. It sounds probably crazy, but, people come in a lot of times and do interviews or podcasts. And so I just agreed to it and then kind of realized it was a lot bigger once it started going. So, my hope is that it helps people. It helps people that are struggling or people that are going through things they don't understand why. And so I think what it does is it shows a path that goes a bunch of different directions, and things that I thought were good that maybe weren't, and things that I thought were horrible that weren't bad either. And so kind of learn to try to reserve judgment when situations happen of what's good and bad and see what they are later. So I hope it helps people, because what I did when I set out 4 or 5 years ago on this change was I want to be the best version of myself. I kind of figured my parents didn't have a lot of time left. And so I felt like I owed that to them. And then obviously my children and family and players. And so I just really worked on how can I be the best version of myself to give to everybody. And I think that's very different than how I was living, where before I was living about what did everything give to me. And so I think that's really where the change, and still I got to continue to work on that all the time.
I love that. I can't wait for that message. And I'm excited that there's inspiration out there for a lot of us that maybe want to change who we are or be the best version of ourselves, but are scared or maybe self-sabotage. I assume there's a lot of potential, those thoughts that you're still battling every single day that you talk about. Just know that we've all noticed your skin looks immaculate.
Yes, it does.
You have a good glow about you, and it feels like your teams are benefiting from the way that you're going about living your life now, which leads to this weekend. Huge one. I mean, absolutely huge one this weekend. How do you feel about this year's squad? And there was an announcement of the starting quarterback, I believe, just moments ago, right, Tone? This just got announced that for the third straight week, you'll have
Trinidad Chambliss.
Trinidad Chambliss and Ferris State quarterback, I believe. That was announced. I'm not 100% sure if you made that decision publicly or not, but how do you feel about this year's team?
Well, that's good to know. That'd be news to me that the starting quarterback's been figured out.
Okay, so that has not been announced.
I'll go down and tell our staff right here.
Okay, so that's
Pat broke it that Trinidad's our starting quarterback. So, no, we haven't made that decision yet. I do think we have a good team. We've done some good things, and both those quarterbacks are really, really good players. So it's exciting to have them both. This is a huge challenge for us. I think that this LSU roster defensively is by far the best they've been in a long time. They've done a great job. As Brian Kelly alluded to, they spent a lot of money in the portal in the offseason. And it showed up. I think you're seeing that in college football. I think numbers have shown, Miami, Texas Tech, and LSU spent the most money in the portal. And look how they're performing. This is a brand new defense at a lot of spots. And they're really talented, really good. And that's why they're the third team in the country.
Yeah, it's fun to watch Louisiana kind of go, but it's also great to see your team ride every time. We're happy that you guys are back in national prominence, mostly because we're all fans of you, brother. That's why I'm excited for the documentary to learn even more about you. Go ahead, AJ.
Yeah, Coach, going back, you mentioned, 4 or 5 years ago, you started working on yourself and being the best you. How has that affected you as a coach, like day to day? I would imagine relationships with players, parents, everything would grow through that. But are you able to enjoy coaching more now? I feel like we seem like coaches are just miserable, and then I'm relieved when I get a win. Like, it seems like a very tough profession. But how has it changed you, I guess, as you've gotten older?
Yeah, I think people that come around here have mentioned that. Had a sideline report last week said you seem like the most relaxed coach right before the game of all the SEC coaches, and I think I've worked on that a lot. But I think working on myself and being this version of myself has allowed me to just get into a space with myself in relationships with players and coaches and people that I just couldn't access before, if that makes sense.
Yes, absolutely. More relatable. Yeah, a little bit more of a human probably here.
Yeah, not as transactional. Not as, hey, I'll get you to the NFL. Here's the plays that help you win versus, hey, how are you doing in life? Like, how can we help you all around? And so I just think that has helped. And I didn't do it to help. It's helped. It's created more genuine relationships. And I don't know that has to do with winning and losing. I really don't care if it does. I just like living that way a lot better.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's much more fulfilling watching the boys grow the relationships and then seeing them have massive amounts of success. You, obviously, we've seen everything you've done because of the football royalty that you're from. Your dad, we believe, we're like, I think 100% sure, 99% sure, created like the Tampa 2, obviously, in the entirety whenever you talk about football and what that did to change the trajectory of the sport as a whole, especially defensive football. You obviously on the offensive side. Was that very young that you were like, I'm going to be a genius on the offensive side? Was there ever a time where there was a thought of maybe continue the defensive mastermindness of life? And how do you feel about the way you go about running your offense? The number we got is a third of your passes are explosive plays. That number is outrageous. The 33% of your throws are longer than 20 yards down the field. They're completions down the field. So how did we get to this offense, and why did you choose offense, I think, with who your dad is the questions that I have.
Yeah, I think playing quarterback helped me move that direction. But I've been so fortunate in that because I was raised with my dad, so I learned defense from him, and I was always listening to the problems that teams and schemes gave him. Then I went to Pete Carroll for 6 years, an assistant for him. So I got to listen to him. Then I went to Nick Saban. You're talking about three of the greatest defensive minds ever. That one I was raised with. The other two I spent 9 years combined with, sitting in meetings where they were talking about what gives them problems, and just kind of kept all that information and then created this offense and then added the tempo part to it, kind of the Baylor style when Art Briles came to us at FAU. And so that's where we are now. And like you said, the explosive plays, I think pays off. I think we led the country in plus 30-yard plays last year and first again this year. And obviously that has a lot to do with great players too.
Yeah, but I mean, you're fun to watch too, sprinting your ass down the sideline. You get excited throwing oops to the boys this past weekend. Yep. I mean, we love, you guys are an exciting brand of ball, which I think is why we're all so pumped at Ole Miss all the way back. Now, at the quarterback position, there's a lot of questions, especially with an announcement that was just made for the New York Giants. Go ahead, D-Bud.
Yeah, Jaxson Dart, obviously he's in a big city right now. He'll be starting his NFL career, being a starter this week. But how do you kind of balance? You're at a program where people and quarterbacks going to come and try to win a national championship. How do you balance winning on the college level and developing these quarterbacks for the next level?
Yeah, our system really has a lot of NFL elements in it offensively for them. Protections, routes, different runs and stuff. We just happen to go really fast. And I think over time defensive coordinators have said that, including Coach Saban, that what Ole Miss does, what this system does, is it gives you problem plays, but goes really fast also. And so I think that's helped our quarterbacks play really well. It's awesome for Jaxson. Sounds like that's an official announcement of a starter. That you guys.
Hold on, there was another. Now, granted, if he ends up starting, I'm going to count it. Yeah, On3 was reporting this, so it wasn't us that did this. I just want to let you know, and I have respect for.
Well, then it's got to be official. It's somewhere on Twitter, so that's.
You got it. Nailed it.
That's absolutely right, yes. Jaxson was awesome for you guys. Watch him run. I think he got definitely concussed that one game against Florida, I think it was, if I recall. He's tough, athletic. The boys love him. I guess the moxie's through the roof. Feels like we need that as a Lane Kiffin quarterback. Is that something you look for, the personality, the type of guys that you have on your team? Is there moxie, confidence levels that you kind of either attract or look for whenever you're deciding who's going to be on Ole Miss?
There is. It doesn't have to be, because there's all kinds of different personalities that can be great quarterbacks. I do really enjoy like that relationship with Jaxson Dart when you find somebody that really commands the team in the locker room and is enjoyable to be around. And, even though we get older as a coach, man, we still like hanging out with people. And so, you have a alpha male like that's a great guy that comes from an awesome family. Like, it's great to hang out with too. We go, I beat him, but we go and play pickleball together. We've taken trips together. So it was a really cool relationship and still is. We actually have a bye and I think they're playing at the Saints, so maybe I can go see him play. But he's awesome. I talk to him every week.
You're a pickleball player? You're a good pickleball player?
Yeah. I don't know that I'm good. I have a really good partner.
Okay.
So that helps.
Yeah, but so you just hide out? You just serve and then hide out, and then the partner's taking all the kitchen work, or what?
It depends. Sometimes we play a 1-1 stack. Like if we're down a little bit, I put the great player, and then you just play behind, kind of fit off of him. Like a safety off of a great linebacker.
Where do we play at? Do you guys have like a little spot there at Ole Miss? Or are you at a club? Are you at a pickleball? Is there pickleball clubs? I guess there probably is at this point of this entire thing.
Not in Oxford, Mississippi. No, but we have a court right on campus right here, man. We just go play with the people. That's part of this whole Mississippi change, and really when I say you don't know what to expect and what the plans are, and I had never thought, man, I'm going to love to live in Oxford, Mississippi. That's where I want to go. And I would have told you the opposite when I was in LA or in South Florida probably. And now I love it here. And so sometimes you just need a place to slow you down.
Yeah, the Universal will guide you. They'll put you in there, especially if you're going to be doing some Pilates. Mm-hmm. I see you stretching that lower back, getting a downward dog in. That looked like it's a great time. You said if it's on Twitter, it must be official. We saw something from your Twitter, okay, that we were all taking as official. Connor has a question for you.
Yeah, Coach, I love the stuff on Twitter. I'm really pumped for the over this weekend. Go Rebels, all over it. But one of my favorite parts is actually on Twitter when you and your shenanigans, if you will, during SEC Media Day. What's your favorite part about fucking with Finebaum? Because I love it, and it's kind of the best content usually out of those media days over those couple weeks. What is kind of the overarching fun for you in it?
Well, I enjoy the Paul part. Actually in that preview that you guys just showed, Paul says the Miley Cyrus of college football. And he's taking a shot at Miley Cyrus too, like that Miley Cyrus isn't good. So I still say to him, I'm like, Miley Cyrus still doing pretty good. So your comment didn't really make a lot of sense
at all.
And but now Paul's like the expert on everything, and so it's all right. It's kind of it's enjoyable when I'm on with him and he just freezes and he gets stuck. So I really enjoy that. Plus he used to be terrible to Coach Saban, so I kind of feel like I got to get Coach Saban's back too.
How do you feel about Coach Saban, man? I'm getting a chance to work with him. I love him. This guy is unbelievable. He's unreal in every setting that I see him. Dinner setting, he's unreal. Production meeting, he's unreal. Talking to the coach, he's unreal. Sitting with us, he's unreal. Leadership advice, it's like every setting that I've seen him in, he's like a machine of just what the perfect thing to do is. I couldn't imagine Coach with him. In that trailer they talk about those are ass chewings. Okay, This ain't an argument. This ain't a two-way street here. This is a one-way road. Obviously, you give him a lot of credit. You just did there. What did he mean to your career, and is that going to be showcased, you think, during this documentary?
Again, I haven't seen it, but they said he interviewed him for it. But he was awesome for those 3 years to give me that opportunity to come work for him. Again, think about those defensive coaches I said I got to be around. Well, I got to be the offensive coordinator for a national championship Alabama Nick Saban team and USC national championship teams. That's unbelievable to have those opportunities to learn from. And I just take a lot of both Pete Carroll and Nick Saban, what they did, and have kind of combined it to what we are here. I think we're kind of a real combination of both.
Go ahead, AJ.
I guess throughout all your different, coaching gigs that you have had, I know coaches obviously are always moving around, but you've had so much different experience, NFL, college, all over the place. I guess, were you always paying attention, taking notes, building your book of what you're going to do, as a head coach, wherever that may be, even no matter, some places worked out better than others, but you have so many great coaches, I guess, to rely on. Were you always taking things and writing them down? How do you remember these things that maybe Nick Saban said 15, 20 years ago?
Yeah, I think just a lot of experiences with them. And then when things come up, I do it all the time. I'll have a situation come up, decision to make, and I'll go, okay, Coach Carroll would have done this, Coach Saban would do this. And so it's just awesome experience to draw back to of being with those guys and really young with Coach Carroll. And so you go through experiences and then you get these head jobs at really young age. And so those are experiences too, because you screw a lot up. And, I say to people, think how much better you'd be as a parent the 5th time around. Well, you get a lot of head jobs, and so the 5th time around, you get a lot better if you learn from your mistakes. So I think that's kind of what I feel like's happened in my life and with coaching.
I think you were ahead of the curve whenever you sent Janikowski out there for a 76-yarder or whatever it was. It's like they're doing that now. Now guys are going out there for 66, 70 yards. I think you were ahead of the curve, and the confidence you showed in the Polish cannon is an absolutely beautiful thing. I love that you did that. I want to let you, and I hope that has a little piece of the documentary tonight. Seabass didn't hit that one clean, but if he would have, that thing would have been good, I think, Lane. I still think it was the right decision.
See, sometimes we're just ahead of the curve. They just aren't ready for it yet. And he had made that in practice. And like you said, I'm going to believe in the players. We go for it more on 4th down than anybody. We run all these plays. That's not just out of nowhere. It's because we believe in the players. And we put on them, hey, we know you can make these plays. And I think that's why a lot of people come play for us.
Jay, you can make this, right? 76? Got a little wind in the face. That might be a little tough. I don't know. This could be.
It was actually Leckler, the punter, is the one by me and goes, hey, we got this, coach. We got this. And I'm like, all right, Shane, sure.
Shane's up for the Hall of Fame yet again. I hope he gets in there. GOAT. I love everything about him. 76-yard field goal.
Awesome.
It's 15-0. Is that 5 field goals? Would this have been the 6th field goal of the half?
No, but it might have been.
Maybe. Could you imagine Sebastian Janikowski as the greatest half in the history of a kicker? This one comes up a little short.
Then I'm like, oh, shit. There goes the returner.
Yeah, but the big play was made. Yeah,
he tackled him.
Yeah, Shane would have made the tackle for you. Shane would have made the tackle for you. All right, let's go over to.
I could feel Al Davis up in the press box going, if it's returned, this coach, I'm firing this coach. I think he fired me the next week anyway.
Hold on, you were left on a tarmac too? What was that, USC?
SC.
Is that real?
That was USC. I wasn't left on the tarmac. It sounds better when you say tarmac. We landed, and then the AD in the airport right there in a side room met with me. And I was actually on the bus going back to the facility at USC because I used to sleep at the office back then and get ready for the next game. And he called me. It was like 3 o'clock, like in the private airport there. And that's where he told me.
So he showed up a little bit late. Oh, where's he at? He's already on the bus. We didn't want that.
To get me off the bus. I had no idea.
You're sitting front seat there?
Yeah. Which is why I was upset at Finebaum, because that day is the day Finebaum, it's like his first time on game day. He must make this big splash, which remember, he was a Tennessee guy, so he hated me for leaving Tennessee. So here was his chance. So he does this whole Miley Cyrus thing, and the AD and president are watching it like, well, we probably got to get rid of this head coach if it's like Miley Cyrus. They get rid of me that morning at 3 a.m, whatever it is. So, and now I can look back and say, hey, Paul, thanks, because if you wouldn't have got me fired there, I would have never got to Nick Saban.
And then Nick Saban leaves down to South Florida, where you start doing your thing, and then all of a sudden we're at Ole Miss, and now your name's up for everything, everywhere, all the time. And we're thankful that you're back at the top. Let's go to Hammer Down. AP Tone has a question for you.
Yeah, Coach, you don't mind taking jabs at other SEC coaches on Twitter or interviews. Who's your favorite SEC coach to take jabs at? And who do you play more pickleball, or does Hugh Freeze play more golf?
I think Hugh Freeze plays a lot more golf. and our pickleball is like 30 minutes over here, like we go over and play. And it's kind of bonding too. Staff, we play, players, play with the players sometimes. Me and one of our coaches beat our 2 receivers the other day.
Come on.
So,
You're beating the boys. Just beat
I
Jackson.
don't know what coach. I don't know what coach, Jimbo's gone now, so I don't know. It's funny.
All right. Last question. Harold Perkins, obviously an absolute monster on the LSU defense. Whit Weeks is a beast. We all know that. We know that he is an absolute beast. How are you preparing for this LSU defense? What are the thoughts?
Well, these guys are really good, as you said. Those are two great, phenomenal players.
Good men, too, from what I've been told.
Yeah, Perkins has got to be the fastest linebacker we've seen in a long, long time. Like, this guy's like Derek Brooks or something. I mean, he chases people down. It's unbelievable, his skill set. We played him as a true freshman. I thought for sure by now he'd be gone as the 5th pick of the draft somewhere or something. So it's really challenging. They do a great job. They're really well coached. And now they've got the secondary better with these 3 new pieces they went out and bought. And so this is big time now.
It certainly is. We can't wait to watch your team. We're incredibly proud of you, even though we don't know you, for everything that you've gone through and where you've gotten today. We can't wait to watch tonight. Alongside you, I guess, you're going to be watching. Whoa. Couldn't even imagine the anxiety potentially leading up to what 7 o'clock is going to bring. But maybe you don't even have that anymore because it's the new Lane Kiffin. We'll learn about that tonight.
No, I really don't. I mean, I'll be here working, actually. And someone asked me about that, and I said, I'm not worried, because when you're genuine and real in the interviews and everything, whatever people take is what they take. You don't have to worry about anything. So there's no anxiety about it.
Yeah, and I'm not going to add
There's more anxiety about this LSU defense, I can promise you that.
Okay, as there has to be. I mean, the boys are flying around. They got a 6'5" safety, I think, and in a 6'3" corner. You talked about pieces being bought, which is incredible, which actually leads to, what is your thoughts on the current state of college football? I guess we ask this to everybody. What are your thoughts on it? Obviously, you have to adapt, evolve. You have to lean into it if you want to have success. So it's everybody's rules. How do you feel about it as a guy who's been around for so damn long?
Yeah, I don't like it for college football at all. I mean, I don't think there's anybody that thinks it's a good thing that players are playing at 4 or 5 teams, in college. And so I don't like that. I don't like that it doesn't have the same camaraderie in the locker room because, everyone chose to go there or grow up wanting to go to the school, where so many players are now, which is fine, but they choose to go to a school because it pays them more money. They didn't even grow up a fan of it. So I don't like that part of it. And it gives the kids away when things aren't going well. I just go in the portal and I leave. So there are good parts of it for the players. It's great that they get paid, but I don't think it's really good for college football that there's so much movement.
Feels like everybody's saying the same thing. Mm-hmm. Have a great season. Good luck. And you're one of the most influential voices in the sport. So keep saying it, brother. Keep saying it.
All right, guys. Have a great week. Thanks for having me.
Hey, thank you for joining us. We should do this again.
Yeah, this is my first invite ever.
That's not true. Lane, that is not true. You know that.
Where's my SID? It's true. He just said it's true.
Yeah, that guy's covering his ass.
Yeah,
I think I've tried to come on. I think I've even tried to come on. You guys are like, yeah, we got bigger people,
bigger than Lane Kiffin.
That's bullshit.
Yeah, right.
Get on here.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time.
SID sucks.
I don't like it. Yeah, we
Kyle Campbell.
He's a Campbell, of course.
Yeah, same last name. The guy still sucks.
Yeah, no, he's great. All right, we appreciate the hell out of you. Good luck with everything. Thank you for joining us, and congrats on finding who you're supposed to be throughout this entire life process. Ladies and gentlemen, the head coach at Ole Miss, Lane Kiffin.
Hey, Lane.
You want this, you got that. No way, watch him walk right